Okay folks, we're back here in the wood shop and we're trying to get the final touch on this cherry bowl, and we're in the final sanding process, and I'm wearing a dust respirator when I do this, and so we're going to finish up sanding the outside, and we'll do most of that with this angle grinder with the 120 grit wheel. And then when we get that done, we'll do the we'll power sand the inside, and we've got 3 different grits that we'll use for that. So if stuff goes right, goes good, perhaps we'll put the first coat of finish on, which is always kind of exciting because it really pops the grain. So anyway, respirator, dust mask, safety glasses, okay, we're turning here at about 1800, which is fairly high, and you have to be careful because we got this void in this place here, but let's see what happens here. Down here and see where we're at. That doesn't look too bad. This is the final sanding process, so I've already done some of the sanding. I think we'll move now to the inside. I don't think I can get the camera any further over that way. We could try and move the headstock back to the 180 degree position. That might give a little better view. You know, when you're working with the skeleton crew and we don't have access to 3 and 4 cameras to kind of help the situation. Maybe that'll do some good. I don't know. Maybe not. Turn that just a little past 180. See what we got here. I think I can see it all right. Now that's with the 180 grit. Or excuse me, the 80 grit. Now we're going to move up to a finer grit, and that's 120 grit, and that will just help kind of remove the Okay, now we're going to move to our final grit, which is 220. And that's the finest as I go. Some guys run up to 400 and 600 grit. More power to them. So we'll take a look at that. That's pretty smooth. I think we're going to call that pretty good. Get our sanding tools out of the way here. And at this point, we can take off our dust mask, because it's kind of hot, hard to talk. So I think we'll wipe this with a tack rag, which is just kind of a sticky rag that kind of picks up any loose dust particles. And then I'm going to use the vacuum to suck out any dust that's in here, so this will be a little bit loud. So there, we're ready for finish, and we're going to use what we usually use, and that's tung oil. That's a Midwax brand. So I'll get a little bit in a container here. We got it ready to go here. So we're going to apply this with a paper towel, and I think that'll work good for everything but the heavily bark area. And we're going to do this on the lathe, and we're going to want to be probably about, say 200 RPMs. That would be, we get going too fast and it sprays the finish off into my eyes. This is the first coat. Probably end up doing at least 3, more likely 4, with the light sanding in between. So it builds up kind of a small film on the, and after about 4 coats, well, it'll have a pretty good luster to it, and we have to, the places where there's cracks and voids, you need to kind of squeeze the finish out of the towel, and we'll get some on the outside here. This will be a little more of a challenge, as we got that bark area that's all void. And with these pieces of wood, there's different densities and there's a lot of soft punky wood in here, so that doesn't take the finish very well. It just soaks it up. So the first coat is going to just be more or less like a sealer, and it's going to just give us a little more finish here. And we're going to use our brush and kind of daub it into these. Now this will never have a sheen to it, but at least it'll kind of seal it up, and it'll quit dusting off. So that'll be those areas. So finally, the saga of the cherry bowl is coming to an end here. This is 3 or 4 days away from being finished, because I'll leave this on here for 24 hours and then to come back to it and sand it lightly by hand with just a piece of sandpaper, sanding grit, and put another coat on, and then wait another about 24 hours, and do that about 3 times, and we should get a pretty good finish on there. So here's kind of what we're looking at. I'm going to leave it chucked up in the lathe here for a few minutes. I can get the thing where I want it. This is the outside. Okay. That's going to do it for today. Thanks a lot. Have a good day, folks.